Blacker Adam.
Blacker Adam. All right. Welcome. You know who it is. Horsebots. Here again. With my childhood friend, Big Iron Man, Rob Jarrell.
How's it going?
First we gonna make a drink. Can you tell me what is it that you're making over here? And you made me a couple of drinks earlier. It was absolutely delicious. I don't know why my voice is leaving now. This is always what happens in life. Things happen, but you persevere and you overcome. So, what you making?
So, you probably had this before. We're gonna go with a tequila-based drink. It's called Ranch Water. We are gonna go with the Diamante Reposado.
Okay.
Maestro Dobel Diamante. It's a very good base. We're gonna kind of wing this. Normally,
Always winging it. That's what I do.
you would go with about an ounce or ounce and a half of tequila. I'm a bit more liberal with my drinks, so whatever feels right.
Go with your feelings, bro. That's what you gotta do. Whatever feels right. That's a nice, healthy pour to me. It looks perfect.
It's a nice, healthy pour. Now, we are gonna go with a nice sweetened lime juice. Now, this one I want to measure out because I don't want too much lime juice. I want to taste my tequila.
Yeah, I feel that.
And it's sweetened, so it's not too bitter, it's not too sour. And we're gonna do a solid ounce.
You see, we heavy poured the tequila. We were precise with the additives.
Yes,
This is the way.
because we still want to drink tequila.
Exactly. This is the way. You want to drink the tequila. You want to taste the tequila.
Now, you want to go with either sparkling water or mineral water. I have Topo Chico mineral water,
Topo Chico.
carbonated.
Topo Chico, I'm going to tell you. This is in accordance with our good friend, Kukulkan.
Him Kukulkan, the feather serpent god.
The feather serpent god. This is his water.
Of Monterrey, Mexico. Yes.
The Aztec water.
Now, again, do you want more tequila taste? Do you want the lime taste? But it's a very good mixture. And because we are two people that are constantly in the gym, tequila, very good if you're trying to maintain or even lose weight.
You got to make sure,
And because we had the sweet and lime juice, only a hint of sweet lime juice is only 2 grams of carbs.
See?
And that is the taste.
He knows. Good thing.
There you go, good sir. I wish I had an ice ball, but we're gonna
Sound
go
good.
just like this. Ah, yes.
Delicious.
Normally you would
Delicious.
top off with a nice square or ice ball to keep it fresh, but we're gonna go renegade and gonna go.
We're going to go straight Talakan. And speaking of Talakan, this is our Black Panther Wakanda Forever review. We had to make a drink so we can discuss it freely, So I'm figuring the way we structure this, we go with what we liked first, what we disliked, and our overall feeling of Wakanda Forever. You wanna start off with what you liked first?
All right, so it's so hard to say, but let's start with something simple. The visuals were amazing.
Fantastic.
I mean, we already know in the original Black Panther, we got the full Afro futuristic version of an African nation that was unspoiled but still black excellence. And I loved it. And they maintained that standard. But once we got to Talokan, aka Atlantis,
Yeah.
it was a different kind of excellence.
It was, but it still was excellence.
It was excellence.
He built a whole sun. This is something else. I'm here for it.
I am definitely here for it. And those visuals were amazing. Sure, there was some questionable CGI and visuals in the first movie, but this one, I think they cleaned up
They did.
very well. And I think they had a full vision for what they wanted these two contrasting civilizations to look like.
Agreed. Absolutely. I gotta say, like that, the visuals sensational.
Sensational. That's the word you're looking for.
The scenes, like, I feel like the first half of this movie was, in my opinion, was almost perfect. The fact that, first of all, there's certain characters that are just, those are my people. Okoye, when she came out of that look, what it looked like a bank. It looked like they were stopping the bank heist. But when she came out of the safe that was supposed to have the protected vibranium, and she just popped out there with her people, and it was just like, it is literally 3 of them, plus 1 with the hidden one, against several mercenaries, like about 10 mercenaries, and they just got busy. Oh! And then they started playing my music.
That's right.
I'm telling you, when you hit, ooh, ooh, I'm like, I was ready. I was like, this is the Black Panther that I know. This is the Wakanda that I know. So when they did that shit, I was like, I'm here for it. And then they marched them into the UN's goddamn sanctum when they're having that meeting. And she's like, look, I'm giving you an olive branch.
Response to this incursion be an olive branch. Further attempts on our resources will be considered an act of aggression and met with a much steeper response.
I had chills. I can't lie. I was like, bro, she running this. It was like, just because our king died, don't think we cannot defend ourselves. I was like, you better tell these colonizers.
And while we're on that, can we talk about Angela Bassett giving a master class of A+ exquisite acting? That scene was
chef's kiss. You're right.
It was perfect. Like she exhibited strength, she exhibited class. I mean, it was Angela Bassett.
It was Angela goddamn Bassett. It was a master class. Absolutely. It was powerful. It was pointed. It was literally everything that you would feel from a queen that's lost her son, that's lost her husband, and now these people are trying to come steal their national resources. What? On some subtle, like it was impeccable. It was absolutely impeccable. She crushed it. Perfect. The movie up until this point, perfect. And then they go in, and it's like, all right, cool. We introduce Riri Williams, and it's like, I like the energy. At the same time, it's like, it's a lot of Iron Man-ish, and I'm like, I'd rather have the original Iron Man. But I'm here for Riri Williams. I'm here for their dialogue, their interactions. I'm always gonna be here for Okoye. So when she was in the scenes, little girl.
Small girl. I am going to give you 2 options. You can come to Wakanda, conscious or unconscious.
I'm here for that scene. I'm here for it. Bringing it all the way back, like that energy was great, and then moving forward to like, basically trying to extract her. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm here for that. I'm here for Princess Shuri. She's up here, we got the college girl swag, like I can blend in. I'm here for that. And then when the Talokans they do abduct them on the bridge. I'm here for Okoye. I'm here for how she got real gangster. She was like, hold on. You got me effed up if you think you just about to waltz in here with your whales and just take the princess and take Riri. Like, no. When she took off her coat, I said, she about that life. You guys gonna learn today. And she got busy. Oh, I was like, holy shit. Hey, you better show them what it means to be a Wakandan. And she destroyed these women. I mean, obviously, the rather large gentleman with the unhuman energy, unhuman strength.
That's right.
I mean, she took a little L, and then she didn't take an L until she got hit with a bomb that for some reason, did not kill her, but was able to crush and break vibranium glass later in the movie. But we'll leave it there. So up until this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm engaged. I'm here. Okoye took an L. That's crazy. Threw her off the bridge. Stole Princess Shuri. Stole Riri. Okay. And now we're seeing Okoye go back and she's going back
To report.
And then we see a master class from Angela Bassett once again. Would I tell you, bro?
I mean, she was just throwing nuggets after nugget.
And I warned you about, and you lost her. So today, I am done.
After, like, I don't know. I feel like her and Viola Davis have this acting competition. Like, who can just be, it's like, who can be the baddest one in the room, the baddest one in the movie? Who can steal the show? And we know Viola Davis out Denzel in the movie. So we know Angela Bassett was like, look, I've been at this for a long time.
For a long time, for a couple decades, several triple decades.
And it's just like, let me show y'all who I really am.
Hey, and you know what's ironic is that that's her line in every Black Panther movie. Show them who we are.
Not fit to lead.
Show him who you are!
Yo, she said that in the first one to T'Challa. You just saw that Black Panther energy rise. You just saw him just dig real deep, and become the Black Panther. So in the second one, he's like, "Shut!" And we jumping too far. It's okay. I'm gonna reel it back. But just know, she says that in every Black Panther movie, and she does that in every scene that she's in. It's great. So where are we at right now? We are at Shuri is stolen. The Queen is giving the speech of like, "Yo, I've lost everything." She strips Okoye. It's like, damn, bro. That's my homie. And now we're seeing Telokan.
And specifically, one of the biggest things that I personally like about this movie was Namor.
Namor.
Now, if you're
Kukulkan.
Him Kukulkan, the feather serpent god.
If you are into comics, especially Marvel comics, or if you just be like, hey, I need to research this character, Namor is one of those guys who is pure badass.
Who are you?
I have many names. My people call me Kukulkan, but my enemies call me Namor.
It's on. Whenever, wherever, portrays himself as a king, as a god, as someone who can take on the Hulk and not sweat at all. And in this movie, I think they added that extra dimension by giving him an actual true backstory. Now, granted, you have all these comic purists who are going to be like, well, that's not the Namor I know. And we know that comic book movies have to adjust for the big screens, for the audiences, and some way make a little bit of sense and give them just a tad bit more depth. And Ryan Coogler here, I think, did an amazing job by making him a Mayan god, basically, giving him that backstory. And we know there are some people, some demographics, that was not a fan of this, and I do not care.
Yep, I don't care. I'm sorry. Look, hey, Namor. His backstory was absolutely gangster. Like, the way that they're like, oh, you devil child, and let me just float. He just starts flying like, you see this? Are you witnessing? Literally, his pose is witness me from goddamn what's the movie with the Fury Road.
Oh yeah.
Literally, his pose is witness me. He just
Get up! You can do it!
floats up in the air. Like, are you serious, bro? This kid's flying. If you was in slavery period and you saw a little kid of the people that you have been beaten just start to fly, you better pray.
And think, even in the comics, think how goofy winged ankles would be. And for whatever reason, they made it work. They made it work to his advantage. They made it work to make it look believable. And he made it happen in combat to make himself look like a god. I just think all of it worked perfectly. Now, he's not the Namor of the comics. He is Namor. Kukulkan. He is a different rendition on this character that I think works. And no, I am someone who is not a fan of ethnicity swaps. I'm going to say ethnicity instead of race. I am not a fan.
Same here.
I think it's very lazy because there are characters of different ethnicities that are interesting in themselves to put on screen. But this is one of the what I find to be 3 choices that a ethnicity swap work. Namor, Aquaman, making him a Pacific Islander,
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
Hawkman in the new Black Adam movie.
Yeah.
I personally think if you know the background of Hawkman, I think these 3 work to the benefit of the character and the audience.
Agreed.
Anything else? I didn't say we needed Black Superman. I didn't say we needed Asian whatever.
Don't need that.
But for this one, for these who technically don't have a real background, because when you think Aquaman, you think blonde-haired, orange and green, Super Friends from the 1970s, whack.
And now I think Jason Momoa. That's all I think. You say Aquaman, oh, you're talking about Jason Momoa?
You mean the big dude from, you mean Khal Drogo?
Khal Drogo.
That badass?
Eating hearts. Yeah, Jason Momoa. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's who Aquaman is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, but that was a worthwhile change. Just like Namor, it's worth the change.
Yo, all I know is I had questions when I first saw the original trailers, and he was like, he's got wings on his feet, and I'm like, wings on his feet? I don't know how I feel about that. But when I saw him getting busy destroying vibranium planes with those wings on his feet, it was like he was Deion Sanders in there. I was like, oh, he's a problem.
For sure.
I gotta put some respect. I don't even call him anymore. He's my friend. Kukulkan is a problem. The feather serpent god is a problem. I'm like, man. So when he starts, so you see their city, and it's lovely. I mean, stunning. It literally, their city is love. Like, you're like, oh man. And you see what he's fighting for, and you see, and he's like, look, man, you see what it is? I can't let nobody come down here and mess up my people. And I understand both, like, that's good character development. I understand both parties. Hey, he's trying to protect his hidden city because he knows what happened. He knows what happens when Western civilization sees and understands that there's something else that exists that's better, that has more value, that's stronger, there's more technology sound. They want to go and take it. They want to colonize it. He sees that. He said, look, I see that. We don't want no parts of that. He sees Wakanda. He's like, look, we got the same problem here. We got the same, it's very similar, from the same fundamental technology. What are we going to do to protect ourselves? I'm saying we killed scientists. I can understand why he would say that. I can also understand Shuri saying, hey, scientists look like me. We're not going to kill a scientist. We need to figure out a different way. I can understand the clash. I'm like, okay, up until this point, I'm here. But then one thing that goes off the rails for me is when he's like, from killing the scientists to destroying the whole world. I'm like, well, that escalated quickly.
That escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Like, whoa. You went full Thanos real quick. At least Thanos, he started out like that. He had a very logical explanation, but you went from a scientist to the whole surface world. It's a lot of people up there, bro. That's what you want? That's the smoke you want? And I get it. You a bad dude. Al, what do you think about that? It's escalated quickly for me.
So this is where we get into what we really don't like. And I think we don't know the motivations enough behind that. Speaking of Thanos, because we don't know how Thanos affected other civilizations. And I'm not just talking about on Earth. I'm talking about all over the universe. Because that snap took away half the universe, not just half of Earth. So we don't know if half of Talokan disappeared.
Yeah.
We know half of Wakanda disappeared because they lost
Black Panther
for 5 years before he came back for the final battle.
Yeah.
And that is, it escalated quickly. I think it was a little premature, whereas Atlantis just doesn't want to have to deal with the surface world. And Wakanda wants to stay somewhat isolated because they don't trust the rest of the world with a finite resource that is not only the basis for their whole country, not just weaponry, but economy, to share with the rest of the world who, let's be honest, as shown in the opening scene, will do anything and everything to find vibranium, even invading a sovereign country's remote facilities.
Ridiculous.
So yes, they might be a tad bit apprehensive. But also, the bull in the china shop, whatever, we know that the biggest gap we were missing here was Black Panther. And if you look at Ryan Coogler's original story, it was still going to be dealing with loss, but more so a loss of time and reconnecting with civilization after being missing for 5 years. And we know Coogler had a very tall task, and I think he did an amazing job with what he had to work with. But Chadwick Boseman and the character of Black Panther, T'Challa, was a huge deal.
Yeah.
As much as Shuri, Okoye, Queen Ramonda, Kukulkan, whatever they could do to make that movie good, we just know it would have been that much greater had Chadwick Boseman not have passed an unfortunate death.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Rest in peace to the Black Panther.
And I know there's a whole movement and there's a lot of people that says recast T'Challa. Well, we know we're in the multiverse, so that can happen. And for the end credits, we know he has a son named T'Challa.
We do.
Which means he's going to grow up. Give it 5 years. Give it how many years. Time passes. The multiverse, whatever.
Yep. He will be black. There will be a Black Panther named T'Challa.
But I think, and I know the character, the actor we should not serve the actor, we should serve the character, but that is a very difficult task because the MCU has done something that a lot of movies, or only some of the best history franchises have ever done, was tie the actors to the characters that they've played. Right now, when you say Tony Stark, I see Robert Downey
Absolutely.
Jr. When I see Captain America, I see Chris Evans.
Yep.
And when I see Thor, I see
Hemsworth.
Right.
So that's all I know. Absolutely. And it literally, like, you are nailing it on the head. It's like there are only certain franchises that do that.
Like, when you think Rocky, you think Stallone.
That's
you
it.
think Rambo, you think Stallone. When you think Terminator, you think Schwarzenegger.
I'll be back. This is all you ain't getting to the Star Wars universe. Han Solo, come on, bro. We talking Harrison Ford. You talking Luke Skywalker? What? Bro, it's only one face that will pop in your head.
Right.
Like, this is the way.
This is not a Batman situation, and this is not a Spider-Man situation where we had multiple of each. And if you really want to be perfectly honest, all the Spider-Mans have done an A+ job playing that character. I can't say the same for the Batmans, but it's a bit more hit or miss.
Yeah.
You know, Keaton, Bale, Affleck,
It's a lot of Batmans.
Pattinson. We can go down the list.
It's a lot of Batmans.
But when it comes to the MCU, because they've had this long track record, this whole slate of movies, that's who you think. And I think it would have been done a little disservice to not just us, but to the franchise and the character if they went ahead and recast the character so soon after his passing. I know people are going to disagree. I respect that, honor that, but that's just what it is, a disagreement. We can move on, agree to disagree, and that's what it is.
Agreed. I definitely agree with that. And it's like, It's unfortunate because the mind always wants to wander and be like, man, what if he never passed away? Like, what if he was still, what, you want to be able to appreciate this person's art, but he's gone. And there were hard decisions to have been made. These were the decisions that were made, and it left us adapting and trying to find that level of agility that we still can connect with the audience that grew to love Wakanda, grew to love the Black Panther, honor the actor that really pushed it to the forefront, at the same time have a narrative or a story that everyone could get behind. So when it's like, all right, cool, we're at the point in the story where Shuri's taking a stance. She's like, nah, I'm not killing the scientists. And then my homie, secret spy homie, she comes in there, breaks Shuri out, kills a couple of people, and Shuri's like, yo, you started a war. And she's like, well, your mom told me, the queen, by any means necessary. She went full Malcolm X. I said, well, here we are. So now we get back, and Telocon's people and Kukulkan find out what's happened. So now Kukulkan does the most gangster maneuver that I've seen in a long time in a comic book movie. The way that he floated down to his throne.
He's coming for the surface world.
Took accountability for trusting somebody that people probably told him don't trust, and said he gonna make it right. I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna be a problem. Cause Kukulkan, no more to his enemies. He about to go out here and act a fool. And what does he do? With, I feel like it was like 15 people he attacked Wakanda. Because it wasn't his whole army. It was a solid 15 people. It was the singing ladies in the very beginning to have the people walk off the ship.
Which I think was just the stupidest thing in the world, but that's me.
I agree with that. It's like, yo, this is a very powerful technique. You can just waste it. Now they understand, and they're going to be prepared in the future, but I digress. So he has these, there's like 7 of them in the water. Boom. Then he got his 5 main warriors and him. Literally. And the funniest thing, because the whole movie, M'Baku's like, yo, what should we do? He's like, kill what did he call the dude?
Kill the fishman.
Kill the fishman. Literally, it's the funniest. He's like, kill. So as the attack starts to happen, M'Baku turns and he sees like, oh, the fishman. And you know, he's M'Baku. Oh, he's M'Baku. He goes, he swings the boat around, starts maneuvering that way, and I'm like, oh, M'Baku about to get busy. No. He goes over there and tries to attack the fishman. Oh man, Namor blocks that with ease, looks at him like, bro, really? And punches him so hard, this thing M'Baku, he can't breathe. He's like, yo, he thinks he has a hole in his chest. I thought he was dead. When you see that slow motion punch, I thought he had pulled a Kano. If you don't know who Kano is, it's a guy from Mortal Kombat who used to rip out hearts. I thought he pulled a Kano. I said, oh no, M'Baku too? Like, bro, they letting everybody die in these movies. Like, yo, can I have somebody survive? So he flies across the screen. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And next thing you know, the city is being ravished by goddamn Kukulkan. He's flying through there. He's crashing planes and everyone. And then Shuri shows up and they make eye contact. And he's like, you really want to do this? She starts shooting at him like, oh, I'm going to get you. It's like, come on, bro. You know you're not about to get goddamn no more. This dude goes down to the bottom, powers up like a goddamn Super Saiyan, shoots out the water, crushes that plane, and then goes forth and tries to get at the queen. The queen was real gangster. The look on her face, she's like, get behind me, child. I was like, oh, some gangster right here. It's real gangster. Get behind me, child. Oh yeah, that glass? Oh yeah, that's vibranium. Namor is like, oh really? Oh you think you're safe? Goes and gets all these water. I don't even know where these water bombs came from. But he comes back with like 7 of them. I don't even know how he carries 7. He's got little hands. Who knows?
I think he had a net or something.
I'm like, bro, why do you get 7 water? And then he throws them, just Total chaos. And at the end of that scene, the queen's dead.
Yeah. This gets into something else I dislike. This is not a knock on black women excellence. Because let's be honest, I loved just about every black woman in this movie. They all did something immensely gangster. They represented well. I loved every bit. But I think M'Baku, for the role he was supposed to play, was not featured in a way that really served the story. I understand he was an advisor to the queen, a council member, and honestly a protector of Shuri, made by that of T'Challa's character. He was obligated to Shuri throughout the movie as an advisor and as a big brother figure.
Yeah.
And I feel like that they could have given him more to... We know he has ambitions of being king of Wakanda.
Yeah.
But he's an honorable Jabari tribe leader. And I think they could have given him just a tad bit more to work with. Maybe a little bit more development in his position. Maybe, a bit more feature as far as being a fighter. Maybe even a rematch with Kukulkan Khan just one more time, just to show, like, I didn't have my vibranium suit.
Yeah.
I had this wooden Jabari suit or something. Something. Because we know Okoye, she was going to get her get back. Once she got her suit, she was going to get her get back against the Talokan general.
Yep. And she did.
And she did. Even without the suit, she was holding her own.
Oh, yeah, she was.
I just needed a bit more from M'Baku, just a hair bit more. And as the other thing, Riri Williams as a character, I liked her. I think that Black STEM excellence will always be there. If you didn't know, we're both in STEM.
Yep.
So we love it. I mean, just how she did calculations.
Oh, bro.
Out here, not just to hit someone.
Doing a little differential equations. I
That's
took
right.
that class. I took that attack. I took it. I know what you're talking about.
So not just that, but I think, and Marvel has a habit of setting up shows and movies and previous shows and movies, and I think it might take you just a hair bit out the movie, just a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I know we setting up an Ironheart Disney Plus show. I know we are. That's cool. But this Wakanda forever. And I just don't know, like, it just kind of, sometimes when you reflect on, after you, because I saw the movie. I saw it several times. After you reflect on the role that Riri played, it's like, man, this could have been so different. You didn't really need to introduce, because it wasn't like Spider-Man in Civil War. I was like, ooh. Because in Spider-Man in Civil War, we were intrigued. Oh, we was like, oh boy. Oh, oh man. Like, it's very similar technique. Very similar attempt of execution. Bring in this amazing character, introduce him to the collective whole, have him do a little bit of stuff that's memorable, and then push him out to the side and let the main people do what they do. Try to do the same thing here, and it's like, but Riri ain't no Spider-Man. No offense. Much love.
Mm-hmm.
But she no Spider-Man. I don't know. I mean, threw her in here, and it's like,
I think Shuri being the technical Tony Stark, Bruce Banner level genius, she shouldn't have had to discover Riri Williams.
Yeah.
It should have been someone that you've already known. Because trust me, geniuses know other geniuses.
It's true. They're aware.
Yeah, they are aware. They are aware. And I feel like her being black and doing this outreach that they should have been doing, as hinted
at the end of the first movie.
At the end of the first movie, that, Shuri might be doing a little bit more outreach to black institutions, inner cities, finding out who likes STEM. She should have been more of an ambassador at that time, even before the the meeting, especially because they speak the same technical language.
Yep. Agreed. Absolutely agree.
But that might be a minor nitpick.
It just irks me. So now we are. The Queen's dead. Riri survives. Yet another funeral. A heartfelt moment with M'Baku and Shuri. Like, oh, how you feeling? And then Shuri trying to get her life right.
Mm-hmm.
Figuring out what they're gonna do. And next thing you know, she's like, all right, it's Black Panther time. I'm gonna recreate the heart-shaped herb. And I'm like, all right. And ironically enough, it's always like this. The tools that were required to recreate the heart-shaped herb, Namor, Kukulkan, gave it to her. Because without that little bracelet with the original flower that grew from out of the ocean that was very similar to Wakanda's heart-shaped herb, because it's all coming from vibranium, she wouldn't have had those tools to create. So this is a lesson. If Kukulkan would have left it alone, would have just been like, you know what? We'll take care of these little excursions when they're looking for vibranium and leave it at that, he wouldn't have created his own demise. Because let's be clear, that whole chain of events, taking her to see the ocean, giving her that little bracelet, then coming and destroying Wakanda, then forcing Shuri to look within and figure out, hey, I need to bring forth the Black Panther, and then going and creating the artificial heart-shaped herb and then taking it. He triggered that. But it triggered one of the best cameos in the movie. Oh my God. I'm gonna tell you this. Like, obviously, in my head it's like, all right, Shuri takes it, she goes to the realm of the other realm, the elders, the people that have passed. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, man, are they gonna do a CGI Black Panther? They could do a CGI Chadwick?
Because Disney owns the rights. They could
have. They could have, but they didn't. What they did was they pulled in Killmonger.
Chidaka.
Little cousin.
How?
It's never as important as why, right?
What's his you know his name?
Was it Indy Chaka?
Indy Chaka. And the way that he was, first of all, let me just be a fanboy for a second for Killmonger. His lounge attire, sir, I tilt my head. That looks like some very comfortable lounge attire. All white, everything, just chilling. Hey man, I was looking on the internet like where Killmonger lounge attire from Wakanda Forever. Like I'm trying to get a set. I'm trying to get it because it's just it's neither here nor there. But when he's sitting there and the words that he says, it's like it is that part of the movie at that moment with that instant in that scenario is perfect. You say you gonna be like your brother, or you gonna take care of business like me? Like, I mean, T'Challa was noble. Killmonger ain't having that BS. Killmonger if it was Killmonger, he gonna go out there and kill Kukulkan. He gonna roast him. He gonna do what he gonna do what's necessary. I was like, oh man. And the coolest thing is that when Shuri comes out of the plane, and they're like, who'd you see? And she's like, she don't want to say, well, I saw my cousin, Killmonger. He told me to get busy. She's like, it didn't work. I didn't see anyone. It's lying. Why are you lying? Why are you lying? No lying. Do not lie to me. I know you saw someone we know. So she comes back, and they're like, oh, and then she punches that doll, and it's like, oh, she the Black Panther.
That's right.
She the Black Panther. She got that Black Panther energy. She got that Black Panther juju. We see it. And I'm like, and then she picks the suit with the gold in it. That's all Killmonger. They should have known. They should have been like, what other Black Panther in recent history wore a suit with gold embedded in it?
The dude in the Jaguar suit.
Killmonger. Like, you chose gold. Like, Although her entrance as Black Panther was cold, because you got M'Baku down there telling his story. First of all, M'Baku, I feel like Okoye was my number one favorite person in the movie. M'Baku was number two, because when he said, "You bald-headed demon," I laughed every time. It was the funny. And did you know that line was ad-libbed? What? Bro, hey, all I know is, you bald-headed demon. I was like, bro.
Shit died in the middle of it.
Basically.
All right. I think you were going.
What were we talking about? So the camera, I had technical difficulties. Just problems of a new YouTuber. I think I was rambling on about Cuckoo Khan, and man, I lost my train of thought. Damn.
Yeah. But getting to what we didn't like and where we are at in the movie.
Yeah.
We're at the finale.
We're at the finale. Oh yeah, so we're getting to it. She chooses the gold Black Panther suit. And you mean to tell me no one in Wakanda was like, especially what's Shorty girl's name? T'Challa's old lady?
Oh,
I forget her name.
I feel like it.
I love her to death though. She's fantastic. Lupita, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's her government, but in the movie, I forget her name. Nakoya. Is it Nakoya? No.
No, I think it's Nakia.
Nakia. I know it was an N. I know it. Nakia, so it's like, yo, she keeps asking her, oh, who did you see? You don't see Shuri's black and gold suit? You know who she saw. And that's why she hit it. Revenge is not for you. No. She here for the revenge. She about to go out there and get it. So I say all that to say, cool. So we're watching. Black Panther has arrived. They're taking on. First of all, I didn't like how she punked M'Baku. I feel like he was like, look, I'm just saying, this ain't the way. And she's like, you go help me or no? Don't make me come back for you. It's like, bro, he was there for you when everybody keeps dying around you.
Yeah, but everybody kept dying around her, and at a certain point, she gave out that Killmonger energy.
She did.
And that's the purpose of Killmonger. For someone who has experienced loss, not just of his father, but also of a nation that he was promised but has never known.
Yeah.
And this is Shuri, who again has experienced loss of her father, of her brother, of her mother.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah.
And her village has been, her country has been attacked.
Yeah.
Oh, she wants all the smoke.
She wanted all the smoke. She was like, look, I am the Black Panther now. You gonna help me, or I'm gonna come back for you. I was like, oh, Killmonger. Okay. So, all right, now it goes down. They set their plane in motion. They lure the telecom people with they made another machine. And it's like, all right, bet. Shows up. They attack them. Then Namor gets busy. Starts doing his dancing in the air routine, destroying some planes. And it's like, cool. And then you see Black Panther get a little, she get in the game a little bit, do some things. You're like, all right, okay, this Black Panther got a little skills. Okay, cool. And then it gets interesting. Because they bait Namor with Ironheart, fly into the sky, hit him with a zip-zap boopity-boop, capture him in a ship, try to scurry him off. Black Panther jumps in there too, like, yeah, we about to get it popping. And she did deliver a cold line. She was like, you thirsty? Do you need a glass of water? I mean, that was cold. That was cold-blooded. That was cold-blooded. That was clever and cold-blooded. I said, ooh! The thing, and then, so at this moment, he's losing his powers. He's getting dehydrated. So he's like, I got an idea. I'm going to break free. I got this vibranium spear. I'm going to destroy this ship. And it's like, you probably should have done that earlier, bro. I mean, that's just my opinion. I would have immediately started to try and break out with my vibranium spear. But here we are. Plane blows up. They scatter onto the beach. And it's like, all right, cool. Now, these are like where the inconsistencies. And it's obviously as a comic book movie, but it's little things for me. Like the Black Panther movie or Civil War or like Infinity, like it was a level of continuity that just leaves you in there. But the fact that he was getting dehydrated, the fact they crashed on a beach, and the first thing he didn't do was to go and get some water, it's mind-boggling. Because he's flying! He's flying! And I'm like, bro, you're not gonna fly into the water real quick, do a little dip, come back supercharged? What? He doesn't. What he does, he flies around, punches her a little bit. They have a nice little battle. Battle was dope.
Yeah, battle was really
I
dope.
enjoyed the battle. He was throwing some blows when she ripped off his feather feet. Oh boy.
That should have been it. Should have been pissed off.
The amount of pain on his face, he was like, the audacity of you to rip off my feather feet? And she looked at him like, game, blouses.
Game, blouses.
Like, oh boy. I was low-key hyped. I was like, oh man. And next thing you know, there is this, the battle is coming to its conclusion, and you're thinking, all right, she about to win. Like, she got that winner's pose. Pop the claws out, got the swagger walking. She got that Killmonger energy. And then she gets stabbed in her abdomen. I said, they're killing everyone in this movie. At that moment, I thought she might have died. I was like, yo.
Oh, yeah.
I literally was like, yo, everyone's got to die in this movie. Next thing you know, M'Baku's gonna bite the dust. Okoye, everyone's gone. No more Black Panther, no more Wakanda, it's a wrap. But then you hear Killmonger. Like, you could be like your brother, or you could take care of business like me. And she broke that spear and pushed forward, then flipped over the nigga. I said, oh! And the more at that moment, he's like, he ain't got no real energy. He should have been got some water. He's stupid. He up here like this. He like this. Oh. T-Rex. And the most gangster thing sure was like, oh, you thought this was a fair fight? She threw up some gang signs and Wakanda forever and blew this dude up. I said, oh no. And it was so cold because she just looked at him like, as her mask covered her face and she was gonna be protected from the fires. I said, oh no. She went full Killmonger. Hey. I was like, you know what? I'm here for Killmonger Black Panther. So next thing you know, they're on the beach. And Namor is done. Can't even call him Cuckoo Khan no more. Namor is done. No more love for him. Namor is on the ground. He's battered. He's beaten. And I just see it in her face. I'm like, yeah, it's a wrap. This Killmonger energy has consumed her. And then out of the purple clouds, shout out to the purple clouds, you hear Angela Bassett. Show him who you are. I said, oh, pulled on your heartstrings. And at that moment, she became the Black Panther. She was no longer Killmonger. She became sister of T'Challa, the Black Panther. And she said, hey, bro, we're going to protect your people. We're going to protect your oceans. We're going to protect you. So yield. So your people can still have a God. And he yielded. And I was like, oh, man. Okay. I'll take it. And that is Wakanda forever. I mean, you know, after he yields, they go back. It seems like they're all about to take a L, and then she shows up on her spaceship. It's like, oh, and they're like, and then Cuckoo Khan is like, Delagons! We done here! And they take a knee, like Kaepernick, and it's like, oh, it's a wrap. And then Shuri's like, Wakanda forever! And they're like, we won! And then M'Baku looks up like, I'm proud of you. You didn't squander yourself to revenge. And I'm like, I feel you, M'Baku. I feel you, bro. Good job. You talked some good sense into her. She knows. And then the movie is like concluding. And next thing you know, M'Baku's king. And I'm like, I'm here for King M'Baku. And then we go to what? The cutscene?
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, she's going to burn the ceremonial clothes. And I'm like, all right, finally, she's at peace. And then out of nowhere, Lupita comes with this little boy with the best smile ever. He had the best smile ever. This little cute black boy. He was happy. He was just happy to be here. And I'm like, I remember him from earlier at the school. I remember. He went and got her that's his mama. Oh my God. And it's like, if that's his mama, he was like, oh,
Who's daddy?
this is T'Challa's son. T'Challa was shooting up the club, made a person and hid him away. Said, the throne is too much pressure. I'm gonna protect you, kiddo. That's crazy.
When you?
Yeah, no, you're right. I would. The coolest thing though, when he was like, the very end, that's how they try to make you cry one last time. Because if the intro at the very beginning, when you sing all of Black Panther and T'Challa didn't make you, you're not human. But then at the very end, when he was like, Toussaint is not my real name. Can you keep a secret? And she's like, I don't even know how to say it. Who are you in fucking Wakanda? But she said it. She was like, who are you? And he was like, I am Prince T'Challa, son of King T'Challa. I was like, that's my boy's son. That's what it is, bro. And I loved it. I hated this and loved this movie. Right there, in that same instant. There's certain things that I hated. At the same time, I saw this movie 3 times. And it was pretty enjoyable. I didn't like a lot of the moments, and I don't like certain things that Disney's doing. I'm not even gonna talk about that. They're doing things that appeal to a certain demographic of people, trying to do it under the terms of empowerment and inclusion. It's like, bro, we're talking about comics. Can I just have a moment to enjoy a comic book movie about comics very similar to the comics I read as a kid?
I'm not even mad about some of the things they said, because let's be honest, some of that stuff is actually true. How Kukulkan Khan became Kukulkan Khan and came back and saw what was happening in his former Mayan glory.
Yeah.
With that kind of power, I can't even say I wouldn't have done the same.
That's real.
And that's just what it is. It's a history of the Americas. That's just what it is. Now, granted, Ryan Coogler did what he could, the best that he could, with who he could, and I know that a lot of people are either going to dislike it for the stupidest of reasons, and they're going to dislike it for some very valid reasons. Disney has a lot of holes and down points in their movies. Again, I know people that say they don't like Namor. I like this version of Namor. I like him. I like the backstory. I like the fact that he's just a tad bit crazy.
Got a pinch. Sprinkles.
He's willing to throw hands.
Anybody. He's not
afraid to throw hands. It's not.
And he's chill. It's like, and then after it's all said and done, you know when you see him, he's painting. He's like, I'm just marking my history, so everybody know me and the Black Panther got into it.
But this will work out in our benefit in the future.
Strategic. Honestly, I can't wait to see how this storyline plays out. I can't wait to see what happens in Secret Wars, if they pull in the more, how it all comes together. It's
and the Thunderbolts, because let's not undercut Evan Ross and Valentina DeFontaine, who I thought was kind of not really a welcome addition to this movie. It kind of just felt like they were there.
Forced her in there. This is like,
and we know we've seen her in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Hawkeye, and Black Widow, and am I missing one?
Oh man, she just pop up, but it's like, bro, you know,
it's kind of like, I understand why you're here, but I kind of
like, be easy. You don't have to force it down us. Like, it's okay for us to see them in a movie where they're actually adding a substantial amount of value. And it's like, oh, they're pushing the narrative along. Right. I'm good for any character in the movie that will push the narrative along. I do not like random additions where the narrative is not pushed along. So this action that has been displayed on the screen, it seems like it's not for the movie's sake, but for some agenda. It bothers me. But you know, this is a amazing station that we're having here. This is a nice, safe space. And we're not gonna allow that level of negativity or I don't even know how to phrase it. We're not gonna bring the energy here. This is a positive space. We having a good time. We talking about movies, manifestation. We doing unboxings. It's gonna be a good time. Rob will be on the channel a lot more times. We go have the whiskey, not whiskey, because you know it's all about tequila. We gonna have the tequila moments. Hey man, subscribe, like, turn on your notifications, and send us some comments and say what's up, what you thought, the points that you felt about the movie, and let's keep it rolling. I think we did it.
I think we're done.
All right. All right, brother.
Until the next movie.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff.